And welcome back to the Football Terrace. So I had a bit of a glitchy start there on YouTube. It was a little bit weird. I'm not too sure how long it was even working right now. It all went weird. All my computer screens froze up in front of me. But welcome back to the Football Terrace this morning. Some news to delve into today. Jules Kounde hijacking. Is it true? Steven Gerrard on his way to Aston Villa. Growing confidence in the Midlands that they can attract the Liverpool legend as their new manager after parting ways with Dean Smith. Now, that's going to be very, very interesting indeed. I want your take on that, especially you Liverpool fans out there. Paul Pogba reportedly having played his last game for Man United. There are mooted reports that after suffering an injury that could keep him out between 10 to 12 weeks, he may never kick a ball for Man United again. Him seemingly not looking to sign a new deal. The club may look to remove him sooner rather than later, or use him sparingly after he returns in January. That is the report. I'm going to give you my take on all those rumors and all the stories as well. Plus, of course, the most important thing is to give you the chance to have your say. You're the most important part, not just of the Football Terrace, but of football fandom in general. You truly, truly are. Do me a big, big favor this morning and smash the living daylights out of that like button. I want to say a big thank you to everybody as well. Numerous videos have been trending across the sports pages of YouTube in the past 4 to 5 days, from our match reactions through to our review shows, the Bet Victor Top 6 show, our biggest show to date with over 75,000 views so far. So I want to say a big thank you to each and every single one of you that is supporting the Terrace, especially the new viewers that we've had and subscribers recently, and more so my members and my super chatters. You're amazing. So a big thank you to all of you. Linda Stanley, hello to you. Long time no see in the comments section, Linda. I hope you are well. I hope you are well. I hope you're doing really, really well in life and all that jazz. Now, let's talk about the first big story today. The first one that I'm really intrigued by is Steven Gerrard to Aston Villa, because Gerrard's done very, very well. Very, very well indeed up in Scotland. He's done a tremendous job with Rangers, won titles, very good footballing side. They play very good football for the level that Rangers are in terms of the European pyramid of the game. It's long been thought that Gerrard would be the long-term replacement of Jurgen Klopp. But of course, Steven Gerrard cannot sit on his hands. Steven Gerrard cannot stand on ceremony and hope that Klopp leaves in a couple of years. He may very well do. He might decide to stay. At that same point, there may be another manager who is just beating down the door to replace Jurgen Klopp and is slightly ahead of Gerrard. And if Gerrard waits and stands on ceremony, as I say, he could miss that opportunity. You never know what the future holds. So sometimes you have to grasp a chance. You have to grasp a job, whether, you know, an opportunity, a relationship, a day, take a risk in life. And that's exactly what Steven Gerrard is doing. How will he do? How long's a piece of string? There have been many a manager of Gerrard's ilk and experience who have had these big jobs early in their careers, who have failed and crashed and who have burned. There are others that have gone on from strength to strength, a la the Zidans and the Pep Guardiolas of this world. I think in terms of what I've read about Steven Gerrard, his managerial approach, he has every opportunity to do a tremendous job at the very ambitious Aston Villa. For me, it's great to see Aston Villa behaving in the way they are. They have invested money. They are trying to grow a squad. They're trying to play football the right way. Dean Smith did a tremendous job over a couple of year period. He started to foul this season. They've regressed. Instant sacking. And they're looking at quality candidates to come into the football club and to take them on to that next level. Whether it works or not isn't even the issue. It's the ambition element, the speed of execution, the diligence they are putting in. Now, in terms of the Steven Gerrard news, what I was told very late last night is that he has informed Rangers that he wants to go. Conversations between Villa and Steven Gerrard have gone very, very well indeed. The player is very much wanting the job. He wants to go and manage Aston Villa at this moment in time in the Premier League. That is almost a signed, sealed, delivered element. Talks between Aston Villa and Rangers now must happen over the course of the coming days. to work out a compensation package to be able to remove Steven Gerrard. What's slowing the process down more than anything else is Rangers themselves looking at who they can bring in to appoint as their new manager. You know, a bit of a chain reaction to one of the deals going through. But Aston Villa themselves are fairly confident by the end of this week or the early part of next, having Steven Gerrard available. So as the players that are away on international duty return, he can start working with his first team squad ahead of what becomes the most grueling stage of the Premier League campaign for me, that mid-November through to the mid-end of March, when the next international break arrives. It is absolutely non-stop with Premier League and, of course, with the FA Cup starting in January for Villa as well. It's going to be a very exciting time ahead for Steven Gerrard. I want to gauge Liverpool fans' views about him. Gerrard's never been at another Premier League club in any capacity. He now will be. I'm really intrigued to know your thoughts and your feelings on that. How will he do as a manager? Just want your opinion. No one knows. Cast iron. No one. Everyone's got an opinion. I want to know what your opinion is on this. I'm very intrigued by it indeed. How do you think he's going to do? Let's go to your comments that are coming through here. Lala LFC says Gerrard isn't ready, in my opinion. Hasn't done well in the Europa. Stevie G to Villa is good all round, is what Adam Noon has got to say. Jose says, who cares about Gerrard? A lot of people. Like, a Premier League legend is returning as a manager. It's a huge, huge talking point. Linda says Stevie needs to manage in the Prem before he gets anywhere near the Liverpool job. And Linda, I think that is spot on. That, for me, is the element of this deal that's kind of being ignored by some people. It's that element of, there was no way he was going from Rangers to Liverpool. Not where Liverpool are now. Liverpool are at the top of the tree. The person that comes in under Jurgen Klopp is only going to be successful if he keeps you at the top of the tree. Gerrard cannot go from Ibrox to Anfield. That jump, that leap, that step, irrespective of his name, is too big. He needs this move. He needs this move between the two. At the very least, he needs that. If not more, he might even need another club before Liverpool. But we'll see what happens there. But I think, look, I don't know whether it'd be a good appointment or not. It's a brave appointment. I'm impressed with the way Villa are behaving. I love the fact that Steven Gerrard fancies himself at having a go at the job. He's done an apprenticeship at Rangers, and he's ready to step back into the Premier League. Exciting times ahead. Now, I'm going to speak about Paul Pogba. Big report coming out of the Sun yesterday that he has played his last game. The Daily Star run with the same story today. He's out now for 10 to 12 weeks, and he'll not play a game for Manchester United again. For me, this story is hyperbolic. For me, this story is a complete exaggeration. For me, this story is nonsense. He'll never play for Man United again. I cannot see for the life of me Man United letting him go in January. No one's going to pick him up if he's just over this injury. Who's going to pay 20, 30 million pounds for a player they can get in the summer completely free of charge? I just don't see it. Unless the signing on fee Paul Pogba was asking for is about the same that Man United are willing to pay in a transfer fee. It doesn't make too much sense to me. The injuries come. I believe this is an approach to rile up Man United fans again. I believe this is an approach to add more fuel to the already engulfed flames at Manchester United Football Club. But it doesn't really appear to be, not so much any truth to it. If this injury came in March, then it would make sense because he'd return at the end of after the season ends, and that's it. He's done. He's finished. But he returns in January. You've got the home straight end, the back end of the season still, January through till May to play games. So I'm not really too sure why this has picked up pace, why I've seen this trending, why I've seen too many people talking about it. It just feels like a little bit of nonsense to me. Or does anybody out there think Paul Pogba might now use this as an excuse just to take himself out of the limelight and not be involved in this disastrous season at Manchester United? I have seen a few tweets along the lines of, it's typical when the going gets tough, Pogba gets another injury and he's going to stay away for months and months and months again. So look, I kind of feel like Pogba's just being dragged over the coals here. whether you think he's been a good enough player or not, I don't see that he's faking injury to get himself out of the limelight. Played his last game for Man United. Where and how has that come from? I'm really intrigued to get your thoughts and your feelings on that, ladies and gentlemen. I truly, truly am. We've got a super chat here from Aidan that says, "Hi, Terry. Love the show. Is the phrase you can't win anything with kids?" The phrase isn't you can't win anything with kids. Remember, we started a brand new phrase. So on Monday, somebody guessed it right. There's a new phrase in the envelope. You super chat in now and guess the secret phrase. The first prize we've added to the poll this week is going to be a pair of Cristiano Ronaldo's Nike football boots in whatever size you want, delivered anywhere in the world that you want for you. So you could play ball yourself. You might have a kid, you might have a cousin, you might have a nephew, a godson, goddaughter who needs a new pair of boots. We will supply them for you directly from the football terrace. So if you super chat in and guess the secret phrase in the golden envelope behind me, that is your prize. Next week, we're adding an additional prize to the mix, and it's going to be a big one. What we're adding into the prize pool next is going to be a big one. Now, the next story that I wanted to touch on this morning was one that was kind of going around, doing the rounds yesterday, of Jules Kounde to Man United. Old Trafford's hierarchy trying to hijack Chelsea's 2-year pursuit of Jules Kounde, and very close in the summer to getting the deal done. Silly buggers from Sevilla at the very last moments to pull the deal away from Chelsea. Chelsea said, well, we're not going to, Chelsea did the right thing in most people's eyes of not bowing down to that pressure and paying well above a fee that they'd already agreed 6 to 7 weeks earlier. Now it's reported that Manchester United are going to try and bring in Jules Kounde to steady up their defensive woes at the back. And again, this just strikes me as another, I'm not going to say nonsense story. I'm not going to say nonsense story because, well, I am going to say nonsense story. I tend not to scoff at these reports, but it just feels to me like there's 2 reasons it's nonsense. One, don't think we're going to suddenly stop talking about changing our manager and the calamitous running of this football club because we're linked with a very exciting young defender. The second reason that I think it's nonsense, and the biggest reason that I think it's nonsense, but this flies in the face of it being a lie. And this isn't even nonsense from the story. This is, if we do it, it's nonsense. We can buy anyone in the world. We're not going to improve. We are not a player or two short of being a great team. We are a coaching staff and manager away, and the running of the club being near on perfect away from being a great team. This talk of, if we'd have got Decky Rice, we'd have been fine. If we'd have got a better right back than AWB, we'd be fine. We've been talking like this as fans for 9 years. If we just got rid of Fellaini and had Ozil instead, we'd be a great team. If we hadn't have bought Morgan Schneiderlin and got Tony Kroos, we'd have been a great team. It's always one more player and we're going to be great. Never works out, does it? We've had 2 or 3 summers in the last 9 years where we've signed players and gone, wow, we are ready to go. And it has fallen apart because the wrong appointments have been in place. So I feel like the story's nonsense from a point of view of, I think it's a PR spinny, let's just try and take the attention away, hasn't worked. But equally, if we are thinking of doing it, get the hell out of here. No one's buying it. You could literally get in a time machine and go and grab Vidic, Stam, peak Gary Neville, peak Dennis Irwin, and go, there you go. We multiverse time. We brought them back for you. They're looking young and fresh. Like Will Smith in Gemini Man, when he looked like, genius, that's good CG. We could do that. They're all coming back looking young and fresh. Rio Ferdinand in his white suit. It's not going to improve us. It's not going to improve us. So it's a double-edged piece of BS. It's a double-edged piece of BS that there is. I just can't get over that. Do you know what I mean? It's just a madness to me. It's a real madness to me indeed. It doesn't make any sense. And I keep the same energy as the summer when people said, oh, we can't challenge about CDM. No. We could have done. We just didn't do it. Just a little shout out for later on today, 4:30, my podcast, Straight Facts with Jess. It will be out, so we'll be doing that later today. tiering shows start tonight as well. I'm still thinking of what to tier. So I'd like your ideas of what we could tier tonight, tomorrow, Friday and Saturday on the Football Terrace. What 4 subjects would you like us to tier? I'm thinking of doing an all-time Champions League team, ranking the youngsters in the Premier League. I'm thinking of doing ranking the summer signings so far as well. There's 3 on my mind, but let me know if there's anything else out there that you would like, and we could we could do it. Rio was prime Backstreet Boys with that white suit. Yeah, that white. Do you know what's mad though? At the time, the white suit was fairly fashionable. It just kind of was. No, but at the time, it didn't look weird. It didn't look weird. But there we go. There we go. Let's have a look at a few more comments here. Terry, what happened to Maya Graham? Maya now works for TalkSport. She's killing it. That's where Maya is right now. She's doing an amazing job over there. Right. I want to speak about something else this morning. I want to speak about something else that made me laugh yesterday. So I saw a brilliant interview with Laurie Whitwell. And he said 2 things in it that worried me. He's first of all said there was no contact from Man United for Antonio Conte. He said that they want a long-term manager and not a short-term manager. And that is an isolated comment. You think, okay, fair enough. It flies in the face of the reports from very credible Italian outlets and sources and journalists who said there was 100% talks between the 2 parties. What stood out to me, though, about these comments was, how do you know what Antonio Conte is without talking to him or his representation? How do you know his plan? How do you know his real thoughts? How do you know his real disposition? How do you know what he is about as a man, as a manager, as a professional, without talking to him? You can do some reconnaissance and you can do some research and you can speak to ex-employees of his and players that have worked underneath him. But that's still only an assumption. How many times have you met somebody, professionally or personally, with a preconceived idea and they've changed your mind? When I read that Man United didn't even bother speak to him, I thought of 2 things. Either 1, you're lying to save face so nothing can be twisted into you were rejected by him or you've made a mistake by not employing him. Or you didn't speak to him based on assumptions, which is terrible practice. Terrible practice from an organization the size of Manchester United. How do they know that after sitting down with him, listening to his plans and his ideas, that he wouldn't blow their socks off? How do you know that he is short-term without speaking to him? It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Or it does, because that's how this club operates. That's why we've employed 4 dud managers on the bounce. Because the due diligence isn't there. My view is this. We need a world-class manager. Conte's available. Let's just sit down and have a meeting with him. Let's see what he's about. If at the end of that meeting you think he's too short-term, you think he's too abrasive, you think he's no good for X, Y, and Z reasons, state that. But claim that you spoke to him. This whole, no, didn't speak to him, I just don't believe it. So you either not spoke to him and you're idiots, or you have spoke to him, but now you're putting out some more PR nonsense to not make it look like a mistake. If he does a madness at Tottenham and they become better than us for 2 or 3 years under Conte, they're trying to protect themselves from that. It's crazy to me. Like reading it, I listened to it on Stretford Paddock, really good channel, of course. But I was just like, that would have been my challenge. That would have been my point of view of, doesn't make sense. How do you know something about somebody without talking to them? Imagine someone says to me, "Oh, Terry, I got this really good editor. He'd be a great editor for your channel." I'm like, "Yeah, I've heard some bad things about him though, so I'm not going to bother chat to him." No, I'd never do that. Only an idiot would do that. It's okay. Let me have a conversation with the person, have a look at their work. I never judge somebody based on somebody else's opinions. I'll always give them the benefit of the doubt. Why would Man United Football Club not do that? Crazy to me. Thank you, by the way, to Tim Armstrong for becoming an official member of the Football Terrace. That means a great deal to me today. Thank you. Why were Man United players given a week off if Sancho wingback? I don't know why we were given a week off. And yeah, the Sancho at wingback thing kind of makes sense with the new formation we're looking to play, but is again terrible management of the football club. Thank you as well, my guy, for becoming a legend and super fan. 2 new legends and super fans in one morning. Thank you very, very much, my friend. It means a great deal to me. Starlord says 100% Terry. Thank you very much. Do you know what it is to me? I read some of the things that are said and I'm like, take it away from football and think about it from a real world situation. Think about it from a real world situation. Does it make sense? Does it sound right? No. Assumptions are the mothers of all F-ups. Doesn't matter who tells you Conte's X, Y, and Z. If you don't learn for yourself, you are assuming. To run a business by assumption when there is the ability to get a cast iron proof is malpractice. It's absolute malpractice. There's no doubt about it. Terry, rank the best Premier League centre-back partnerships. I quite like that. That's really, really good. That's a real good one. It's a really, really good suggestion. What else are we saying here? Come on, Gerrard is what Jay Fisher's got to say. Terry, the best and worst Prem transfers this season or all time? I want to know. I want to know what you think about that. A lot of people asking why is there no training this week. Look, again, if I'm gonna, I can only assume because I've not got no inside information on it. I think it's wrong, but maybe their take is we felt like if we gave the manager and the players some time away to reflect and whatever, it would work. Hang on a second. Oh, it's got a very interesting email through from from an agent. I can't tell you what they've said, but it's great. There we go. I just did. Just hang on a minute. I've got to send the link through. I'm interviewing Sam Allardyce this morning. And where has that gone? Hang on a sec. Did I not send it? Is it in drafts? Definitely sent it. You know, like I've definitely sent something. But now I can't find it. Hang on a minute. There it is. Definitely sent. Hang on a second. They haven't got the link. They haven't got the StreamYard link for man. So I'm going to have to send it through now. And I know that I think the picture's gone a little bit funny. My internet connection's been really rubbish today. Sorry, people. Let me just handle this little bit of work for just a moment, please. Sorry, my people. Let me just get this sent through now. That's done. Right, let's have a look at some more of your comments coming through. Signing of the season so far. Yeah, let's have a little look at that. Terry, has Pogba flopped at Man United? I think so. Yeah, most rivals think he's flopped at Man United. And to a degree, I understand why rivals think it. Like, I don't agree, but I do kind of get why they think he has done. I think Manchester United have flopped. And that isn't to defend Paul Pogba. I've just been saying this for a long time now. We've had numerous players that have come in the last 9 years. We had existing players that were successful under Fergie. And nearly everybody has been good at best. You know, one of the only players who I think has been astounding for the majority of games he's played has been Bruno. That's about it. Every player has had peaks and troughs, ups and downs. There's been no consistency at Manchester United. And at times you blame the players, there's no doubt, but you also have to look deeper. You have to look beyond everything else that's going on. And that's just my view. But we'll see how the rest of it all pans out. Let's have a little look here at some more of your comments are coming through. Big Sam has his own gravy. There we go. Terry, how can we get rid of the Glazers? You know, in Spain, the fans run the football club and the fans make decisions. Well, let's say if I've told you about this before, it's not an easy job to. It's not about getting. You got to remember, like, people always want to go to the extreme. How do we get rid of the Glazers? That's almost impossible. Can we make them change their behaviors? Yes. They treat us as consumers, so let's treat them as a business. It's so easy. So easy. And I've said it a million times before, so I'm not saying it again, Safe. And I know you watch every stream I do, so you don't need to ask me questions that you know the answers to, my brother. You don't need to do that. A bit off topic. I saw you had Gunnar King on live call yesterday. Remember, I asked you to honor his bet wearing a West Ham top. What was the bet over him wearing a West Ham top? I don't remember. Can you let me know? Just remind me of what that was again, because we speak a lot of stuff on here and I don't always remember everything, people. I'm really sorry. I try my best to, but I don't remember everything. I'm very sorry. Terry, asked Big Sam to manage United. Yeah, Man United talk is off topic. We're not allowed to ask him about it. That's what they're being said. So anything else we can speak about, but not the Manchester United situation as it stands right now. That is not allowed as it stands. That is not allowed as it stands. A comment here says, let's blame Pogba, who's getting played out of position like so many others, and give McTominay, Maguire and Shaw a pass because they are British. Well, again, they're not getting a pass, though, are they? McFred trends every game with pure abuse and criticism. So they're not getting a free. The fact that Maguire is one of the most scrutinised centre-backs in the world, how is he getting a pass? Luke Shaw, last year was the only season where he got a lot of praise, and it was because he was brilliant. He's had so much criticism in the past for his fitness, his weight, his play. They don't get, maybe they get a free pass with certain media outlets, in your opinion. But when it comes to us as fans talking, United and rivals, there is no way that those three players get any pass. They are three of the most scrutinised and criticised players in the team. When it comes to Paul Pogba, though, my expectations of him to perform more consistently and more readily are higher because he is better than them. I think if you've got a player that's world-class, the expectations on consistency from him should be higher than someone like McTominay, someone like Fred. Just my thoughts. But yeah, those guys get their criticism and they deserve their criticism. But I can only talk about myself here. My expectations for McTominay are here. My Pogba, Bruno, Rashford, Greenwood, Ronaldo, Cavani expectations are all up there and beyond. So that's why my scrutiny is higher of better players. And it always should be. You should always criticize better, more talented people than less talented people if the consistency isn't there. Because if you're that good, like being world-class means consistency. However, all Man United players get an element of a pass when you don't have the system around them. Look at the difference between certain Chelsea performers and the Chelsea system from Lampard to Tuchel. You give us a world-class manager in his pomp, and then we really see the wood for the trees. But until we get the managerial and coaching appointment right, it's going to be very difficult to ever pinpoint the best, worst, most inconsistent, like the biggest problem players, because no one really knows. I've seen a recycling of players so many times at Man United since Fergie left, and we've never got it right. So I'm beyond blaming them. Super Chat here says, it's funny that we all can see the problems at United and the so-called football people at the club don't see it. It's crazy to me. Ollie in and FSG out. Thank you for that Super Chat, buddy. I really appreciate that. Where's Lee Gunnar? He was on yesterday, but there we go. Winnerpool says, Terry, United fans claim that Pogba is the best CM in the world. Rival fans watch him and see that he isn't even close. United fans overrating him has not helped Pogba at all. I would say this to you, my brother. Liverpool fans didn't rate Jordan Henderson until a world-class manager got hold of him. And you guys have spoken about him being one of the best captains in Premier League history, one of the best midfielders and best leaders in the world during that period under Klopp. So give Paul Pogba, when he plays under a top-class manager for France, is brilliant. Paul Pogba under a world-class manager at Juve was consistent and brilliant. He just hasn't had that grounding at Manchester United. Liverpool, with all the talent you've got at your club, you telling me Ollie would have made Trent and Robertson and Van Dijk and Genie and Henderson and Salah and Mane as good as they are under Klopp? Come on, bro. You're missing that. The problem is, if you go at the players, but also say we're run by a PE teacher, and at the same time praise your own managers for being the driving force behind your teams being so good, to call out Man United's top-class players and say they're the problem is hypocrisy in itself. It doesn't fit. Those two things can't both exist in the world at the same time without any certainty. What you need is a Klopp-esque, Tuchel-esque, Conte-esque manager to get hold of this squad, someone in the peak of their powers, not someone past their best like LVG and Jose, and someone better. It doesn't completely excuse the players, but we've seen numerous examples at clubs of people becoming... Look how much better Raheem Sterling was at City under Pep Guardiola. True, right? Happens all the time. Happens all the time. Terry, is the phrase tapping up? The phrase isn't tapping up. That's a really good guess, Twisted Bubba. Thank you. Listen, we're at the end of the stream now. I really appreciate all of you tuning in today. Podcast at 4:30. First tiering show out tonight. You'll see that go up a little bit later with an invite for you guys to come along. So it'll be a good, fun show tonight where we can get away from contemporary news talk and everything going on in the Prem and just focus on a little bit of fun. But until next time, take care of yourselves. Goodbye.